Hi, I'm Dr. Brad Holmberg, founder and mentor with InvisalignDoctors.com. It is an ongoing passion of mine to help doctors like you gain confidence and excel in treatment planning. One way I do this is through offering tutorials like the one you're about to watch. I want to show you a case that has a successful outcome from the initial set of aligners. However, it does need a little bit of refinement, but the refinement came back at 16 stages. So what I want to do is I want to compare this where this patient is at, where the teeth are positioned at stage 0 of this refinement treatment plan. So this is the outcome from the initial set of aligners. This is accurately where the teeth are positioned, and I want to compare to the initial treatment plan that was approved. So I'm going to click those three dots. I'm going to add to comparison, and I just want to take a look to show you that there is really an excellent outcome. So let's look at the occlusal view. Here's stage 0. That's how the patient started. Here is the final stage in ClinCheck. So this is the proposed outcome from the initial set of aligners, and this is the actual outcome you see on the right side. Let's look at the lower. This is the proposed outcome. This is the actual, and you can see there was a lot of correction. Let's just look at it from the anterior view, like that, like that. Occlusion looks good. So everything looks good. And the doctor told the patient that this would be a really short and simple refinement. Then he gets this back and it's 16 stages. So what do you do? Well, what I do is I just go back and I just go through the treatment plan and I look at every tooth, especially the root movements, and I just dial them back and then I run live update. It restages everything, and let me show you what I just did. So right here is the refinement treatment plan. There's only 8 stages. There's way less. It's half of this. It's not 16. And in this particular case, actually, there's only really 6 active stages. Now, I know they all look active here, but what I like to do is I like to request some passive aligners at the end, where when you get done with the last active stage, which would be 6, attachments come off. And you can see here as I scroll between 7 and 8, there's really no tooth movements. So I'm telling him that I want passive aligners at the end right here. So there's really only 6 active stages in this. So you're going from 16 to 6. So how did I do that? I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to open up I'm going to open up the initial refinement treatment plan, and I'll just do a few 3D controls, things that I did to show you how I got to this. So let's pause the video. Okay, so here's the treatment plan. Treatment plan 6 I just showed you, but now I'm going to modify it. You can actually do multiple modifications of a ClinCheck that they send you. You can try one way and see how it looks. You can try a different way, different options and everything. So I'm loading the 3D control bar. There it is. And this is what I'm going to do. You can see that the molar teeth are not movable at all. In this particular case, we really don't need to move posterior teeth much at all. So I'm going to just right click and make the posterior teeth unmovable. So there's not a lot of program movement anyway. Again, this case really came back requiring very few tooth movements. So in this case, I'm going to make it unmovable. Now, if I wanted to make things movable, I could right click, I'm right clicking and make them movable again. And that way, if you felt like you needed to make a few modifications, if you felt like you wanted to just like rotate a tooth or extrude it slightly so you get a better occlusal contact, you could do that. But in this particular case, we really don't need posterior tooth movements much. So then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight rut, and I'm just going to check. And this is what I do for all of the cuspid teeth and anterior teeth, is I'm going to just check the degree of root movements. When you highlight root, you look up here, and this is the buccal lingual movement, this is the mesial distal, and when you highlight root, that's the degree or the amount, in this case like 0.5 millimeters, 0.4, that the root's moving. And you can see it's not really moving very much, okay? There's a little programmed extrusion. So I'm just going to tweak things a little bit. All I want to do is just check the tooth movements and tweak them a little bit. In this particular case, I might just take away that intrusion, leave it at the level it's at because it looks good. So I just go through and I look at these rip movements, nothing significant. I like these numbers to be under a millimeter. And for posterior teeth, I like these numbers to be about 0.5. But I don't have to check the posterior ones because I made all of the posterior teeth unmovable. And even if I added back and made them movable, I didn't move anything yet. So those movements are fine. That looks pretty good. That looks good. I'm going to go down here. So why are there so many? I mean, there aren't really any excessive movements with this, yet there's 16. It could be that they added some round trip movements. It just something is really off. So before I run live update, which is right here, I'm just going around and checking these. None of the movements look excessive. Look at that, 0, 0. Again, root movements. Okay. So the overbite looks good. The anterior occlusion looks good. So I'm going to run live update and then I'll be right back and I'll show you the result. So I ran live update and it came back at 8. Now remember, this was a treatment plan this was treatment plan 6 that was 16 stages long. So you can see here that I simplified movements and they removed all attachments because the algorithm, that's what you do when you run live update, is saying that there's so minimal movements that you don't even need attachments. Well, typically I would want one attachment on a premolar in each quadrant in a case like this. And then I would just check to see maybe add some anterior attachments, but I wouldn't load it up with a lot. But here's a particular case where you went from 16 to 8. Now, what did I do? I just went back and I checked all tooth movements, especially root movements, and I just checked them. And there wasn't really anything real excessive. But if there would have been, especially posterior teeth, I would have wanted to try to adjust those so that the root movements on the posterior teeth would be maybe under 0.5 millimeters under. Because sometimes there's a lot of torque or there's a lot of mesial distal angulation change that is adding a lot of time and complexity to a treatment plan that doesn't even require it. So sometimes they send them back like that. So what do you want to get off this video? I think what I would do is just make sure when you get a refinement back that you check those tooth movements. You just get everything the way you want it, simplify things as much as possible, run live update, and you're probably going to find that the refinement treatment plan is going to be significant less stages than what they give you. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. I trust it was helpful. Through the years, I've mentored hundreds of doctors from around the world through our mentorship services at InvisalignDoctors.com. For $49 a month membership fee, members have access to our online learning content and personalized mentorship services. To give you a taste for how these services can support your Invisalign work, I'm offering a complimentary 45-minute Zoom session. Whether you bring a case you currently are working on or simply have questions about treatment planning, together we'll make it a productive session tailored to your needs. Go to our website at InvisalignDoctors.com to learn more.